So, Titania. Titania is one of my favorite female warframes, and in general, one of my favorite warframes of all time. Just because, well, she has Arcwing. She's really good, but she has Arcwing, and I'm very into Arcwing, so today, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be showcasing some of the builds that I use for her, and some alternatives. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. Now, my build is pretty much centered around having power, strength, and duration, with no efficiency and a little bit of bulk. Now, I don't really think I'll need the efficiency because of the large energy pool that she has, and the bulk is pretty nice because you have Aviator, which gives you the 40% damage reduction being airborne. You're always on your Razorwing, so you're going to take advantage of that, and Guardian always activates whenever you get yourself hit. Not always, but most of the time, so I value that more. However, you could use whichever arcane you'd like and it would still work just fine. However, I would always suggest to have Energize because it's going to help her keep her energy up, and since she already has innate vacuum, you can always just pick it up from a little bit of a distance. Also, another reason that I use duration on this build, aside from having transient fortitude, which disrupts my duration, is because I'm using the Razorwing Blitz outfit, which what this does is whenever I use an ability, it gives Titania's Razorwing a buff to her weapons, which gives her fire rate, attack speed, and also flight speed. Now, the more duration that you have, the more time that this buff will last, and also the more power strength that you have, the stronger it'll be. Now, this does stack for each time that you use an ability, the more it'll last. And also, it is worth mentioning that while you are doing this as well, her passive does grant her some health to her and her allies whenever she uses an ability, so it's like a win-win situation here. Now, the weapons that do get buff are her Arcwing weapons, which are the Daiwata and the Dex Pixies. Now, these two weapons are incredibly powerful, especially with the buffs. The most that you're going to be using is, of course, the Arc Guns, which is the Dex Pixies. They hit the hardest between the two, and while the Arc Melee does hit really hard with the buff, the Arc Guns do it even without the buff, and that's what's so great about it. Now, this is what I use for her Arc Gun and her Arc Melee. It's pretty straightforward. It's almost as standard as it could be, really. Now, they hit really hard, and on the footage that you're seeing both a survival that is 43 with augmented armor, and also a Cube of Flood, just to show off like a little bit of like what it would be without the armor, what it would be without the armor buff, whatever. Now, about her buffs, basically they're all on the lines of damage, shields, health, evasiveness, so they're really good. And the best part about them is that they have a static duration, which means that no matter how much duration you have, whether it be negative or an excessive amount, it'll always be 2 minutes. Now, that's a lot of time for just a static duration, so you're able to keep those buffs up while also maintaining your Razorwing Blitz. Now, I don't normally keep my Razorwing Blitz up. I only activate it when I see a huge crowd of enemies, but that's, on you. Now, there are some alternatives. You don't have to run this build. You can definitely change Umbral Intensify for energy conversion, and it'll work just as well. Maybe a little bit just more power strength, but it really doesn't matter. You still have growing power. You have, of course, your transient fortitude. I wouldn't change transient fortitude for blind rage because of the fact that it just drains a lot, and I know she has a lot, like a huge energy pool, but I wouldn't poke around that too much. But it's really up to you. Now, I do like having the energy conversion one, it's just that I don't like the energy effect that it gives you. But basically, this works really well with growing power because they work similar to each other. Growing power gives you a 25% buff on the next ability that you get to use if you get a status chance on an enemy. And energy conversion does the same, but with energy drops. So if you happen to have both and you activate Razorwing, since it is a channeled ability, you will keep those two buffs on that ability for the duration of the time of the year with the Razorwing. So as long as you keep Razorwing up, you'll stay with that 50% and that 25% that growing power and energy conversion gift, which is pretty sweet, not gonna lie. So there you have it. That's Titania for you. She's an incredible Warframe, very centered around Archwing, so that's gonna make her not enjoyable for people that hate Archwing. For the people that don't mind it or actually enjoy Archwing like me, well, you'll find a lot of fun with her. And in my opinion, she's one of the most fun DPS Warframes in the game. And I say that she's a DPS because just look at how she shreds enemies. She has a lot of capabilities, but mainly her damage is just one of the biggest things. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video.